Hi, Paul McMahon here, Forex Smart Trade. I am going to show you a little bit of trading. Now, this is our principal chart here. It's broken down into three sections. This top section is something we call the TNT. This middle section is something we call the majors and minors. And this bottom section is something we call the pressure. We are trading, this chart is showing a 5-minute candle. You can see it up here on the Euro USD. The terrific thing about our program is that our chart makes it very, very simple to trade. In fact, I know you're looking at this and you're saying, oh my goodness, I can't figure out what's going on here. There's too many lines. What we're going to do is we're going to start very, very simple, and then we're going to add a piece of it at a time and add more and more and more until it becomes second nature to you. And as we add each new piece, your accuracy is going to increase, and the key to becoming a good trader is having that high accuracy rate. Right now I trade at about an 80% accuracy rate, and I've been trading about 3 years. We have a dozen different signals, and as we train you, we're going to go over the various signals, and there'll be one signal that kind of resonates with you, and then we're going to create a trade plan around that for you to trade with. Now, as I said, this is a 5-minute chart. In the beginning, we have you trade off of a low time frame chart because it's easier to make wins. It's easier to get little wins and be a little bit more active in trading. I typically trade off of a 1-hour chart or a day chart. The charts can be any time frame. And what a 5-minute chart means is that each of these candles has 5 minutes worth of information in it. So what I'm going to do is, first, I am going to simplify the chart to go to our most basic trade. So I am going to take off the lines on the TNTs. So all we have is just the candles. Then I am going to take off on the majors and minors. I am going to take off the minor lines so that we're looking at just the majors. And then I am going to take off the pressure. So I've taken out most of the signals. So all we're going to look at is basically what the red and green line are doing and where they are in relationship to the chart. This blue line is what we call the overbought line. So when these lines get up above the blue line and are pointed down, that is a sell signal. The market's overbought, time to sell. Likewise, when these lines get below the red line, the market is oversold, and when the lines are pointing up, that's a time to buy. So what I'm going to do, and over on the right here, I've got a 1-minute chart. We don't need that right now. That's, again, as we work on increasing our precision, we will look for an entry off of, when we're trading off of a 5-minute chart, we will use the 1-minute chart to kind of time the perfect entry. But right now, we're going to simplify it down to the kind of the lowest factor here. And for those of you who aren't familiar with candles, basically on a 5-minute chart, each candle has 5 minutes of information in it. And a green candle means the price closed above where it opened. So here on this green candle, it opened here, went up to here, all the way to the end of the wick, then pulled back and closed here at the top of the candle. Opposite holds true for a red candle. Basically, that's saying that the price closed below where it opened. So on this red candle, it opened here, it went up a little bit. So we see the wick, came down, pulled back and closed here. So we are not trading off of the candles. The candles just are kind of giving us an idea of how the price is moving over a period of time. So you can see here, this is a downtrend. Here is a little bit of an uptrend. Again, that's adding more complexity to it. Right now, I'm going to keep it very, very simple. We're just going to take a look at where the red and green lines are with respect to this blue and red line. And to make our trading a little simpler, I am going to go back in time so that we can kind of move forward a little bit faster. So I've kind of picked a random time. So we're going to go back to the middle of the week. It brings us here. And one of the great things before, we're so confident in how well this works is that once you've been trained, we let you trade with company funds and split what you make. But before we give you company funds, we're going to have you trade a lot on a live account with paper money. And we're going to also have you trade on a simulator that lets you go back and back test things. So as you learn a new signal, you'll be able to go historically back a year and say, all right, here's the setup. When I see this setup, does it work? Here's the setup. Do I see it? Does it work? And you'll be able to kind of step through historical data and see and convince yourself that, hey, this signal is accurate, 60% of the time, 70% of the time, whatever it is. We've got some signals that are accurate 90% of the time. So with that, let's go ahead and start. And I am going to turn on our simulator that will allow me to also measure how much money I'm making as I trade. And I've got it set up, the default right now, since we're trading on a very short-term time frame, a 5-minute chart, I am going to try to get 3 pips out of each trade. I know, again, I'm throwing a lot of information out at you. If you haven't traded before, this will all become second nature because we're going to go through it. We're going to go through it. We're going to go through it till you have it. And I find the best way to learn trading is to have somebody who knows what they're doing take time and explain it to you. That way you get your questions answered. They're able to go at a pace that kind of meets your skill level. So if you're a fast learner, we can go faster. If you're a little bit slower learner, we can go a little bit slower. But the key is that at the end of the day, you walk away with the skills you need to be able to trade successfully. So a pip is basically the 4th decimal place over. It's 1,000th of a penny. And when we're trading a lot size of 1, a lot size of 1 means we're trading a contract for 100,000 euros. So each pip is worth $10. So if I win a 3-pip trade, I'm going to walk away with $30. Again, another part of being a good trader is having the proper risk and money management. And we're going to go over all of these things in detail. But if we can get you to, 1, be able to kind of read the signal, and 2, to be able to practice proper risk and money management, you will be successful at this. Absolutely, positively, 100%. So if I'm going to try to win 3 pips, if it goes 9 pips in the other direction, I'm going to close the trade. So I'm going with a 1 to 3. For every 1 point I'm trying to make, I'm going to put a stop loss of 3. Now that number is going to vary based on what specific currency you're trading and what your accuracy is. But for right now, as a beginner, we're going to use 3 to 1. So we're starting here. I am going to move forward. Right now, we're in the middle of the channel. The lines are coming down. So I'm looking for when these lines get down below the red and are starting to point up. So let's just move forward and see when we see a circumstance that happens. All right, they have entered. They're starting to enter the other side of the channel. They're starting to turn, but they're not quite pointing up yet. Still going down. All right, they've turned. The green is crossed over. When the green crosses over like this is the buy signal. It's going up in the channel. There's nice steepness to the green line. So let's go ahead and take a buy. And you can see it's marked the buy over here. Here's where we entered. Here's when the candle crosses this spot here. We've made our 3 pips. The broker will automatically close the trade. You can't see the stop loss. It's off the screen here, but let's go forward. All right, we've made the trade. Let's keep going forward. Theoretically, could have taken another 3 pips here since it was less than halfway. But again, that's adding a complexity to it. Right now, I'm keeping it as simple as I can. When the line's down here, I'm pointing up, we're going to take a buy. When the line's up here, pointing down, we're going to take a sell. So let's keep going. No, no. All right, it's pointing down. I am going to take a sell. Keep moving forward. You can see where we are at. So this is where we entered, this yellow line. This green line is where we need to get to have the trade close. Not yet. Not yet. It almost got there. Not quite. Not yet. All right. So it took 1, 2, 3, 4. It took 4 candles or 20 minutes for it to close. Now, when I'm taking this trade, once I've done my analysis, I take the trade, I focus on something else. And I'm keeping an eye on the chart, but I don't have to do anything while it's going. I'm not considering getting out of the trade. I've done my analysis. I know the signal's good, and I just need to let it do its thing. So now we are oversold. So basically what we've tried to do is, if we catch the trade here, we will ride it up through the channel. And then when we catch the trade up here, we will ride it down through the channel. So we are just riding it up and down. And on a 5-minute chart, that's worth 3 pips. So let's keep going. It has started to come up, but it's a little bit, it hasn't quite, I'd like it to be a little closer to the channel before I take it. So let's just see what happens the next candle. Now it's still going up. I don't like this. And again, we're adding little pieces of information as you go along. Part of what I'm looking at when I'm looking at these charts is I want to see what the steepness of the line is. So you see here the line was more steep, but it was kind of a little bit, it wasn't quite into the channel yet, or close enough to the channel. So I held off. And now we've lost a little gas in that the green candle went from more steep to less steep. So I don't like this. So I'm going to keep waiting. Oh, so it's coming back a little bit. That less steep was a problem. Going back up. I still don't like the steepness on it. Going back down. All right, now we've got an up and it's going into the channel. I've got an up, there's good steepness on here. So the steepness here is different than what we saw here or over here. So I'm going to take another buy. And here now you can clearly see. So here's where we entered. Here's the price, the bottom of the current, the red candle. That's the entry price. Here's our take profit, the green, and the red is our stop loss. Again, let's keep going forward. Oh, he turned back. That's okay. All right, he took us out. So that's all right. I've got the signal again. I'm going to take another buy. We are up and going into the channel. As I said, we're not going to win 100% of the trades. But at the end of the day, if I'm coming ahead positive pips, I'm going to have money in my pocket. And that's what we're interested in. So let's keep going. Okay, it just took us out. So actually, we're back to break even here. But let's keep going. It's at the end of the day, we want to be net ahead. So let's keep going. So we're middle of the channel, going up through the channel, down, down, sideways, up, up, up. So now we're overbought. I want to catch it on either end. If I catch it on either end, that's my highest probability to get a winning trade. Still up, starting to turn, still up. All right, now we've got a nice signal here. So I'm going to take the sell. Now, there was other opportunities. As we start to add complexity here, add additional complexity here onto this signal, you'll be able to grab some of these. But right now I've simplified it to majors are on either end of either side of the overbought or oversold. They're turning down or turning up. That's the trade. So I just click the sell button. So here's the exit, the take profit. Here's the stop loss. So let's keep going forward. Okay, that closed. Since we are just entering the channel and there's nice steepness on this, I'm going to take another sell. Go forward, pull back, pull back. Oh, what happened here? Oh, no, it grabbed our 3 pips, so we're good. Keep going. Overbought, going up, overbought, going up. All right, we're coming down. Entering the channel. I'm going to go ahead and take a sell. Going down. Now we're a little bit more than halfway, so I'm going to leave it go. We're overbought again. Overbought. All right, it's coming down. I'm going to take a sell. We got it again. We're just entering the channel again. Since we're just entering the channel and there's really nice steepness here, I'm going to take one more sell. Still open. Still open. And it took us out. So in this little bit of time, we did $150. We went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we went 8 out of 9. 8 out of 9 is that 88%. So we're trading at an 88% accuracy clip on our simplest signal. Now, the only thing that I don't like about this, and the reason I don't use this signal, is we started at, say, 5 a.m. and now it's 9:20, so we've invested 4 hours in this if we were sitting in front of the computer. I like to invest about an hour, maybe 2. I see my setup, and I'll take a trade that's worth more pips than the 3 pips. But what I wanted to show you here is that the indicator is accurate. And I'm showing you here, but I want you to actually use it to see for yourself, to see how accurate it is. And then once you see that it's accurate, then we can kind of figure out what the next best steps are for you. But to see that it's accurate, I want you to do the 30-day trial. For the 30-day trial, charge $10. And it's not about the money. We give the money to charity. It's about getting you mentally in the game. And there's some place in your brain that when you spend money on something, you try harder. So I want you to give us your best effort. And then it also helps us kind of weed out the people who aren't quite as serious. So if you've got to spend $10, if you're not serious at all, you won't spend the $10. So we've got a little bump in the road to kind of get you in here. But you will like it. It does work. And I want you to see that for yourself. So thanks so much. $150 and just a little bit of time here with a very simple signal. All right, great. Thank you. Bye-bye.